Hey there, welcome to Kinetic Slides. This is Captain Kinetic. In my previous tutorial, I taught you how to create certificates using regular shapes, specifically those with triangles. You can check it out here. Today, I'll be teaching you how to create certificates using irregular shapes, those with curves. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing, hit that bell icon to be notified of any uploads that I'll be making in the future. And without further ado, let's get going. Let's get kinetic. First things first, clean up our workspace, delete these boxes, and then change the slide size to A4. Custom slide size, select A4, hit OK, and it short fit. Then let's change the theme colors, go to colors, and let's select one of the default colors in Microsoft PowerPoint. Aspect. Nice. Now, I mentioned earlier that we're going to use shapes with curves in them as opposed to regular shapes like triangles and rectangles. But you'll notice that I will first create a rectangle on this slide. Once you click and drag, you can actually edit the shape. You can edit the points on these triangles. So right now they have 4 points. You can add one by just clicking on any part of the rectangle. Now we have an irregular shape. You can also smoothen the points by right-clicking and then choose smoothen, and then adjust the bending of the curves by moving the Bezier curves. These are Bezier curves. I'd like to make this the height of this one a bit shorter, so it's nice looking. I think that's good. Now it's time for us to change the color of this shape. Right-click and select Format Shape. Go to Fill, Gradient. We won't be needing the third stop, so let's delete it. And for the middle stop, let's position it at the middle by encoding 50. And I'd like to use a linear right direction of a fill. That's good. It's time for us to change our stop colors. I prefer to use a blue color for this shape. Let me color this from light to dark. That's good. Let's create a second copy of the shape, and then let's send it to back before we edit the points. Okay. Reposition it depending on your taste, depending on your preference. Let's go to Edit Shape and then edit the points. I'd like this to be a bit shorter. That's good. And this a bit shorter too. Just a tiny bit. There you go. And let's do it again for the third shape. Same process. You notice that I haven't removed the outline of the shape so that we can easily see the objects when we duplicate them or when we tweak them. I don't think this needs a lot of adjustment, but let's just go to Edit Shape, edit the points, and I wanted the last point to be a bit taller. Now we have 3 shapes laid on top of each other. Notice that the left side and the right side doesn't exactly end at the edge of the slide. We can trim these edges so they will be exactly hitting the edges of the slide. For those of you who watched the first 2 tutorials, you know what to do. Let's insert a rectangle. Okay. Don't forget to copy and select the first object, and then a rectangle, go to Merge Shape and Subtract. Paste it, select the second object and the triangle, go to Merge Shapes and Subtract. It's mechanical, right? It's easy. Subtract and do it again on the other side. Let's drag this all the way to the left. Don't forget to copy before subtracting, so that we can just paste it. Now it's perfectly aligning at the edge of the slide. I want to have a variation of colors on these shapes, so let's go ahead and change the second shape to another color. For the sake of variation, let us choose another color. How about brown? Dark to light with brown. So for the first gradient stop, I choose this color. In the second step, this color. In the third step, the lightest hue, right? So for the third shape, I just wanted it to be reversed from light to dark. The light brown for the middle, the mid brown, you can say mid brown, and the last one for the dark browns. I don't think we need these outlines anymore, so let's get rid of them. Let's take let's take a look back at our design. What's missing? So the one that's missing is the borders and the curvy pattern background. Let's do them. Let's start with the border. Let's insert a rectangle, remove the fill, and change the outline color. Outline color, I'd like it to be a dark blue. Send it to the back. That's good. And it's time for us to create the curve patterns. How do we do that? Just go to shapes and choose the curve lines. Go ahead and click. And then on the second point, you'll notice that it automatically creates curves. Click on more points until we arrive to the line that we need. Obviously, we need to change the color to something that matches our main colors. Less colors, less distracting. Let's put it on a fresh new slide and then duplicate it until we have several lines. The shortcut is Control A for select, then hold Control Shift, then drag below. Once we have enough number of lines, just select them all, go to Arrange, and distribute vertically. Good. Paste the pattern to slide 1. Remember to paste it as an image so we can crop it later, because lines cannot be cropped, obviously. Let me just reposition it for a bit. Okay. That's good. We are now ready to crop our image. Make sure you crop them cleanly. Select outside. I don't want this pattern to be super striking, but I want it to be just light so we can adjust the transparency. And send it to back. Let me just blow it up to see if it's good. I think that's okay. Now it's time to do the words. Let's start with certificate. For the word certificate, I will be using a serif font. If you don't know what a serif font is, these are the ones that have accented endings, that have extra lines at the end of these letters. Serif fonts are used to give an authoritative or professional feel. That's why you'll see them in government documents and certificates. Let's do the rest of the text. And I'm doing the body now. Okay, let's pretend like the event is a PowerPoint level up course held on March 1, 2021. Let's adjust this text box and do the rest of the texts. You can also adjust the live spacing, the spacing of the paragraph by using the live spacing. This is available on Microsoft 365 or Office 365, but if you don't have one, click on the paragraph and play around with the line number spacing. Again, let me type my name here. Obviously, we want it to be a bigger, bolder font, right? And lastly, for the name of the signatory and the designation. Doesn't have to be big because these are just secondary information. Adjust their widths, then add a line on top. And then arrange center. We can group them together and then duplicate it depending on the number of signatories that you have. I did not center the elements as I went, that's because I will do it all at once. This concept is useful when you're doing a design that has a center alignment. Of course, you can do some tweaks until you are satisfied. That's it. Now that you know how to create curved shapes, you can definitely create your own design only in PowerPoint. There you go, that's how you do it. On my next tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to mass produce certificates in just a click. If you want to know more about it, please make sure you subscribe to this channel and click on that bell icon to be notified of my upload. Stay awesome!